there, friends and sane persons. Welcome back to another episode of Wednesday Whimsy. Wednesday Whimsy is a short show that I do every Wednesday where I talk about a board game topic, a top 10, something along those lines, and just sort of give you my thoughts. No real rules here, just a short show. My name's Kyle, by the way. Not Kyle, by the way, it's just Kyle. Anyway, today we're talking about something a little unusual. This is a game that has not had a lot of reviews. It's not had a lot of commentary. It's one of those games that I saw at Essen last year, or I guess I saw it advertised. It was gone by the time I got there. And it's a game that's really, thematically not like a whole lot else out there. There are a couple of games about similar topics, but nothing quite like this. The game is Tokyo Poo Divers. So, it's almost hard to say Tokyo Poo Divers without laughing. The German title is Die Kakentaucher von Tokyo, which means about the same thing. It looks like a Japanese game, but it really is not. It's from a company called Heldberg's Games, which I think goes for a Japanese look, but is, I believe, a German company. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the game. I will warn you, unlike most games, there's not a whole lot I can show you because there's not really any pictures online, and the game itself doesn't, the box is not all that full. But we'll see how it works. Anyway, let's get going. So what's it about? Well, let's kind of start right there. I've got to pull out the rules just to read you this theme. Let's see. So there's a whole bunch of people that spend all their time in the sewer, and it sucks down there, and they stink, and they hang around a bar, and they kind of compare all the junk or treasures that they have found in their time in the sewer digging around in feces. That's what the game's about. You take the role of a poo diver in Tokyo, swimming around in the sewer and trying to find amazing treasures while you're down there. Look, thematically, it doesn't really come across. We'll talk about that in a little while, but that's really what you're doing. It's a competition of sorts to try and find the most valuable stuff. The game comes with this very nice little bag, and I'm going to show you the components here because there just really isn't. Oh, that's a beautiful sound. There really isn't anything online I can show you. There are a bunch of golden poop and brown poop. The brown poops are worth 1. The goldens are worth 5. There is a wonderful picture I found online that let me show you this, just sort of to give you a sense of the quality we're talking about here. It's this one right here. Let's share it. Yeah, there we go. So you can kind of see they've done a couple of things, but there's not. I mean, you've got these little cards and these little figures. There's not a whole lot else out. There's a beautiful picture, but there's just not a whole lot of pictures of the game being played out there. So I'm just going to kind of show you what I've got here. So how does it work? Well, you're going to make a grid, and it doesn't have to be a grid. There's a couple of shapes you can make there's some designs for sort of a design your own. Or anyway, you've got these little, very thin, super cheap cardboard tiles, for lack of a better word, and they're going to be face down. The base game is an 8x8 grid, and these tiles have, well, really 3 things on them. They could have a sleeping symbol. They could have some sort of treasure. It looks like here we've found an adult toy. Or they could have an X on them. And I can't seem to find an X. I sure found them when I was playing. But there's just an X, which essentially is an end your turn. So that's the X. And then there's a variety of different objects. The actual value of the object or what it is doesn't really matter. And there's some things that, you hopefully would not find if you were digging around in the sewer. But anyway, so you're going to, on your turn, The game is really a push your luck type game. So you're going to pick one of these face down things. It's a manhole cover. You're going to pick one and flip it over. If it is an X, your turn ends immediately. As a consolation prize, you can peek at any one other face down token or tile so that you know you have a better idea of where to go next time. If it is a Z, then that doesn't end your turn. It's really you were sleeping and I don't know. You get to go again. It's kind of like a dead space. It matters more for what happens in the third option, which is when you find something. So when you find something, you're going to flip it over, and then you're going to score a point for that thing and everything that is face up in an unbroken line in any of the 8 directions, so diagonal or orthogonal. So if it's like if there's one thing and it's next to 2 more, that's going to be 3 points. And if it spreads out, even more. So you can kind of make these star patterns, and then you have a choice. You can either decide that that's enough, or you can decide to risk it. If you decide to risk it, you take this little diver figure and you put him facing one direction where there's an open manhole cover, and you just move him and you flip over that one. And if it's something good, then it's worth 2 additional points. If it's a Z, the sleeping symbol, your turn just ends. And if it's an X, you forfeit all of the points you've gotten so far and end your turn, and you can flip over one, or you can peek at one token just like normal. So after you've done the one that's worth 2 points, then you can keep going in the same direction, and that's key. You can't turn around and go a different direction, so you kind of have to plan it so that you have enough chances to flip things over. And it's going to be worth 3 points, and then 4, and so you can get more and more points the longer you keep this thing going. Sorry, there's some interesting sounds here. So that's really it, right? You're going to flip over a tile, and that's blind luck unless you had peeked at one based on a prior X that you'd gotten. And you'll decide either to push your luck or stop, and you can keep pushing until either you bust or until you reach the end of whatever direction you're going, such that you can't go anymore. Then you have to stop as well. You collect your points. Your points are the poop tokens. And the game's over when either you're out of poop tokens, and if you're out of them, any extra that you would have gotten, you just don't get. You're out of luck. Or if all of the tokens, all the tiles have been flipped over. That's really it. It's a very simple game. Interesting push your luck, and let's kind of talk about what makes it special. So, the push your luck aspect is a little different here than you'll find it in any other game, because it's not just push your luck. You as you're sort of uncovering things, you're creating spots that are going to be inherently more valuable. So you can kind of, if there's a long chain, yeah, I got a lot of points on my turn for uncovering that chain. But on your turn, all you have to do is go to the end of that chain and flip it over. And as long as it's not a bust token, an X, that's why I wore the hat here. As long as it's not an X, you're going to get a lot of points too. And so sort of figuring out which of those spots is going to be the most valuable can be an interesting decision point. And deciding how you're going to go and uncover more things can be an interesting decision point as well, because you'll be creating better and better spaces for other people, and that might encourage you to push your luck a little bit farther. Now, it makes it sound like I'm making it sound like it's a deep, thoughtful game. It's not. It's extremely light. But it's an interesting way of push your luck that I haven't really seen before. It's not rolling your dice. You never quite know where you're going to bust unless you did a little bit of pre-work. It almost has a memory type feel to it, but it's not a memory game. I mean, you might know where 1 or 2 of the tokens are. It's more of a dive in and trust your luck. Another thing that's special about it, obviously, is the theme. In fact, that's the only reason anybody's ever going to come to this game. On the table, it doesn't look all that amazing. I mean, the components are somewhat okay. This little guy here, he's fine. I don't have any complaints with him. He's functional. The game also came with a scary looking poo keychain that's pink on one side and green on the other side. It says nothing to do with the game. It just came in the box. The box looks like a pizza box, but it's the game itself isn't going to, you're not going to come back to it because you thought that was an amazing game. You'll come back to it because it's a theme really that you haven't seen anywhere, and it's kind of a giggle, hee 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 type of a theme. So there's that. So where's the but? Well, first of all, the components of the game, the main component, sort of the star of the show, is these cardboard things, and they are insanely cheaply produced. I don't know, maybe that's just the company's aesthetic choice, but they're very thin. They look like they're going to get worn very quickly. Hold on, I've got to sneeze. And it's just, I mean, even after just a play or a few plays, they're starting to wear, and so they can get scuffed and marked. You almost have to sleeve them. But that's a lot of work for a game of this sort of weight. And so it's just, I mean, the main component pretty much sucks. The poop tokens are okay. They're just wooden tokens. I mean, it might be a gold bar or a pyramid in some other game. It's nothing really to write home about. But the bad components really do hurt this game, and they could affect the game's longevity because I think these are going to wear out really quickly. Another but, I mean, the game has some humor to it, and that's again why you're going to come to it, but it's not all that funny. I mean, it's you don't really feel like you're rummaging around in a sewer, and I guess that's a good thing because who wants to do that? But I mean, the stuff you find is random. I mean, a lot of adult things, and maybe some, bloody body parts, things like that. No real like treasures. It's a whole bunch of junk. Um, but I just don't know that the humor is going to carry the game very much farther. I guess one good thing about the game is that it's pretty fast. I mean, you're looking at 20 minutes maximum. This is a very fast game. You'll go through it very quickly, and it's good for a lark. But it's just not anything that memorable other than the theme. So that's kind of it for the game. I don't know that I can talk about it really a whole lot more than that. I'll say I do like having it. It's one of those games I'm going to hold on to just because it's not like anything else. It's like the rabbits getting divorced game or Consenticle or various other games that just really don't have the same topic that anything else has. And so, as a sort of someone comes over and they say, wow, you have a lot of games. And I say, yeah, I've got a game about just about every topic, including the Tokyo Poo Divers. But it's not a game I'm going to rush to play. I think, it's fine. But I'd probably give it maybe a 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10 for the gameplay, 5 out of 10 for the components. But let's just go with a 6. Let's be generous to these people. They're living in the sewer after all. Anyway, 6 out of 10. It is difficult to find. That's, I guess, another but. It's very difficult to find. I had to order mine from Europe. I don't know anything about this company's distribution. It might eventually come to the U.S. They've sold a couple of their games on Board Game Geek, just a couple, and they're a little on the expensive side. I think I don't remember how much I paid for this, but if it's more than about $20, it's probably too much, especially for the quality here. So I just don't know that you'll be able to find it easily, and I don't think it's worth rushing out to pick up a copy or spending a lot to order one from overseas unless this theme is really you or really somebody you know. Again, I don't want to poo-poo on the game. It's fine. I enjoyed it. I played it a few times. It's a fine game. I'll take it with me to Dice Tower West this week. I'm sure I'll get some plays out of it and maybe meet some new people because I bet I'll have the only copy of this there. But on the whole, probably not one I would recommend heartily, But if you ever see it being played, take a look. I mean, it's kind of fun to say that you played the poop game or the poo diver game. Yeah, that's kind of where I come down on it. So 6 out of 10, it's okay. And that's that for another episode of Wednesday Whimsy. I'm actually, when this goes up, I'll already be at Dice Tower West. I'm recording it just a little early because I'm going to be out of town. But it's always fun to talk about games, and although I usually talk about games I like a lot, sometimes something comes along that's just interesting enough that even if I'm not overly exuberant about the game, I still think it's worth talking about just because it's interesting or fun. And that's the case here with Tokyo Poo Divers. So I'm going to end this here. It's going to be probably my shortest episode of Wednesday Whimsy ever, but that's because the game's pretty simple. Not that much to say. And so, with that, I'm going to wish you safe travels and courage when you need it. And I will see you back here on another episode of Wednesday Whimsy, hopefully next week. Thank you. Bye bye.